All right, welcome in. It's Tuesday. That means it's $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk. You can find plays from the handicappers you see on the screen, as well as any of the WagerTalk handicappers on sale on the site for just $5. I had a nice 5% win last night. Tokyo Brandon, I finally got some ninth inning luck. I had the Marlins plus 1.5. They had a 5-2 lead. They had Zach Wheeler out after the third inning, and yet I got to the ninth inning up against Johan Duran, needing a run. And you know what? The Marlins got 3. So props to the Marlins, who snapped their historic losing streak, the longest losing streak in the history of the franchise. They do it in walk-off fashion off of one of the best closers in the game. And I cashed my 5% play, my only play for Monday. So I'm feeling good today. Hopefully it went as good for you. How did your Monday go?
I had the Phillies -1. So
well, I didn't even know that. Sorry about that.
But it was a 2% play, so I'm glad you won your 5. And then I just went 1-1 in the KBO. So not too much bloodletting. It wasn't a great day, but I'll take -2% and move on to the next. I do have 2 4% plays in MLB today, and they're both for $5. It's $5 Tuesday. So I think I'm ranked number 2 among all cappers right now in 2026. I might be number 3 since you won your 5%. I know you and I are neck and neck for that. So, it's going well.
Yeah, we have been jockeying for position. I think we're both chasing Ski, who's been in. I believe he's been 1 for a while. So
yeah, he's been winning the WNBA. Yeah,
he does extremely well in that league year after year. Still a lot of WNBA season left. If you're looking for that, even if you don't watch it, you should be betting his WNBA because he wins. That's all that matters. Bryan Leonard, like we say, if we don't care how they win, we're just trying to win.
Yeah, we definitely are. And there was somebody in the YouTube comment section yesterday saying, why don't we put out a triple play instead of the double play? And that right there, what's one of the reasons why, we all think differently. We don't, if you've watched this show long enough, we don't always agree. So if you got 3 people, chances are a couple of guys may be against you. So this gives you less of a chance to have conflicting things. And then people say, well, who do I choose? Do I choose one over the other? Just makes it easier that way. And hopefully nobody chose me yesterday as I went 0-2. I had Seattle in the early game. The starter for Seattle had dominated. I'm talking dominated Texas in the past. And out of his last 10 starts, 4 of them were shutouts. One of them was like a 1. He'd never given up more than 4. Gives up 7 yesterday. It happens. That's baseball. Luckily, I only used a 3% on that, so I didn't go in with a top play. And then I had the 2% that I used here as my free play on the show, the Pittsburgh over. I still don't know how they didn't hit those guys. Baseball is strange. We've seen, yesterday Wheeler. We see aces get bombed once in a while. That's the way it is. You don't always have your best stuff. Hey, we go to work every day. We all work for a living. And I didn't have my best stuff yesterday. So luckily, didn't have anything big. So hopefully they joined you two on yesterday's card.
All right. As always, we said on the show many times, it's a new day. You got to approach every day. When you're doing this, every day starts 0-0. You're literally never going to win 365 days out of the year. So we come back, we do it again today. Fresh slate, big slate, because we had the rain out last night. So I believe we have 16 games across Major League Baseball today. We're going to start on national TV tonight with one of the better rivalries in the sport. Tokyo Brandon, I'll let you kick this off. Cubs, Cardinals, TBS. How are you seeing this one?
Baseball is a funky sport, you guys. LG Twins tonight in the KBO were facing a Kiwoom pitcher who had 41 strikeouts and 52 walks with a 2.8 whip. And he held them scoreless for 6 innings. This is baseball, you guys. Or I think maybe they scored 1 on him. That's crazy. LG is the best team in the KBO, too. So it's just baseball's a wacky sport.
They were a $4 favorite in that game.
Yeah, they were minus 400, and he held them 6 innings. So, baseball is a funny sport. It's funny how it goes, but all 3 of us are winners. Brian's one of the best cappers the last 30 days. Adam and I are vying for number 2 in among 33 cappers for second place. So no matter what you think or who you like and don't like, all 3 of us are winners, and there's no denying that. So today's $5 Tuesday So we're not going to push the double play. We're going to say buy our $5 play because try us out. It's a good chance to try one of us out. And if you like it, get a longer subscription. So regarding this game, Cubs and Cardinals, we got McGreevy and Colin Rea. Rea is not a pitcher that I generally like to back. As a matter of fact, his walk rate's pretty high. He's walking 45% of the guys he's striking out, where McGreevy's down to 35. So McGreevy has better command. However, if you look at how Rea has pitched against these Cardinals, he's held them to a 119 batting average against and a 353 OPS, which is 400 points better than what I consider average, where McGreevy has been absolutely blown up by these Cubs. 55 at-bats against with a 327 average against and an 882 OPS. The OPS, not too bad, but the average is awful. So it means he's given up a lot of singles, not a lot of doubles and home runs, but still, that's not a good sign. I have the Cubs number 2 in MLB hitting, where I got the Cardinals number 24. I've got the Cubs bullpen ranked 8, where I've got the Cardinals ranked 22. To me, it's Cubs or nothing here. I think Rea will hold the Cardinal bats down, and the Cubs are just a better team overall. So I would back the Cubs here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it my parlay leg. We're opening the show with a bang. I'm taking the Cubs on the money line. I believe you can get it anywhere from -110 to -115. So give me the Cubs on the money line.
Brian, I'll go to you because I'll go to you. I'll reserve my comments for this one until after I see what you have to say.
All right. Well, just to get our number, it's at 113 right now with Ray against St. Louis, and the total is 9 to the under -120. So basically close to a pick 'em, and with a total of 8.75, as Steve Fezzik would say. I can't believe I continue to give Steve Fezzik credit on the show. It's the one thing he taught me. 8.75. Okay. The Cubs and the Cardinals. Colin Rea, as was mentioned. If you take a look at the current rotation for the Cubs the last 2 weeks, he's the only one that hasn't been hot. Matthew Boyd's ranked 45th, Imanagua 9th, David Peterson 36th, came out with a good start a couple days ago. And we've got Colin Rea at 125, 154 on the season. He's the lesser of their starters right now. And if you take a look, because you got Ben Brown, Cabrera, and Justin Steele on the IL, I believe Cabrera is now starting to throw a little bit. So he'll be back in a week or so. That'll help him out. And they'll either go to a longer rotation or which I think is what's going to happen. They'll just add another guy to the rotation. So they won't have to use as many bullpen games. They got really 3 closers they're going with right now. Trent Thornton's pitched the last 2 days. He might not pitch today, but Webb through 14, he's still available. And Thelbar is available also. He hasn't pitched in 3 days straight. From a hitting standpoint, Armstrong's been hot as hell. He's just number 6 rated hitter in the last week, number 6 rated hitter overall on this season. There's a time when Pete Crow Armstrong was known as a defensive guy, and that was it. Well, he's turned himself into a great major leaguer. Still swings and misses way too much, chases way too much for my taste. But when he gets a hold of the ball, it flies. So they've got some guys hitting pretty well right now, and you always have to keep in mind guys that get on a little bit of streak in a small sample size like that. Hey, it's like a beach ball up there. St. Louis is a team right now that is starting to fade. And as much as we liked them earlier in the season, they're playing 500 ball now. And I believe they're like 6 or 7 games behind the Cubs in this division. They're going to go with Michael McGreevy, as was mentioned. He's number 60 starting pitcher overall, 96 the last 14 days. Actually, on the season, 4 of their 5 starters, other than Liberatore, are ranked in the top 100. So St. Louis, that's how they've been winning. They play National League ball the way it used to be, old Cardinals teams. But McGreevy's a guy that's been very good for them. I've had some concerns about his numbers overall. The bullpen's in really good shape, although Riley O'Brien got hurt a couple of days ago, so he may not be in. They didn't play. None of the relievers had to go yesterday, as Hunter Dobbins pitched really well. He should be in the starting rotation other than Liberatore. We'll see how that goes, but I like him a whole lot better than that. But I happen to think this line is pretty tight, about what I would make it here. And I usually say this is a really good pitcher's ballpark. but the Cubs are hitting pretty well right now. So I'm probably going to pass on this one. I really don't have much going. I just wanted to keep everybody up on who's going to be available today.
I like the Cardinals in this one. I don't know if it'll make my card, but it's on my list. So I'll give you a differing viewpoint here. It is definitely more of a pitcher's park than Wrigley. I guess Wrigley can be a pitcher's park if the wind's blowing in. I do think there is a little wind blowing in here, but I look at these two guys, both awful underlying metrics for both of them. Like they're that Reyes like expected ERA is I think you've got a pair of guys that are both in the bottom 10% in expected ERA, expected batting average. Reyes doesn't strike anyone out. He gets 0 swing and miss, gets barreled up. This is a guy that has dropped off, in my opinion, considerably since that nice run he had when he came back from NPB, when he came back from Japan, and he had a couple really good seasons. Reyes is starting to decline. Mike McGreevy has pitched well, but it's hard to understand how he's pitched as well as he has, because he's down there in that same sort of bottom 10% in expected ERA, bottom 10% in expected batting average. He gives up hard hit, and he doesn't get much swing and miss. So then I look at – this is one scenario where I look at the surface numbers, and I put a little bit more stock in that to them because, I watch McGreevy pitch, and I'm like, I really do like the way this kid pitches. And he was a guy that I liked from last year coming into this year. It's just the underlying stuff doesn't match up with him. Like, you see that expected batting average being close to 300. That's not good. You see expected ERA being in the mid fives. That's not great either. But he does, he keeps the ball on the ground, throws strikes, and it's translated into a 3.07 ERA and 1.13 whip. And now we're in August, and it's like, yeah, he didn't pitch great against the Diamondbacks last time out, but there's only very few instances of him getting really blown up, right? A lot of his starts are 6 innings, and they're quality starts. So when I look at these two guys and the underlying metrics don't like either, I think McGreevy is like the far better of these two pitchers right now. And so for that reason, and when the Cardinals at home, and with them having some of the, they line up okay from a bullpen standpoint after losing last night, that's why I like the Cardinals. But it's up for you guys to make your own decision. I don't know if the Cardinals will make my client card, but it is one I'm considering, and that is the reason why. All right, let's keep it going. Let's head back to the chat. Let's see. A lot going on in the chat here right now. Let's lot going on in the chat. All right, we can talk.
But not a lot of games.
A lot going on in the chat. Let's go to this game. So yes, yesterday I finally got a 9th inning to go my way. I've complained a lot on this show, especially in my bigger plays, my 5% plays where I've had 0 9th inning luck. I had some 9th inning luck yesterday in Marlins Phillies. 7-5 game. Tokyo Brandon, 8 times out of 10, you win that bet. You win that bet 8 times out of 10. You got Johan Duran coming in the 9th inning. More often than not, he's going to lock that down. You're going to win. But I finally got a timely 9th inning hit, and then I actually got more than I needed. I would have been fine with the 7-6 final. I had +1.5, but the Marlins rallied. They kept stringing hits together. A couple of them had eyes, right? Like a couple ground balls just got through the infield, and then they got the big hit to walk it off and win the game 8-7. Like I said at the beginning of the show, snapped a historic losing streak for them. Tokyo Brandon, what happens today? Do the Marlins start to get it going now that they finally got the loss out of the way, or the win out of the way?
Yeah, that does a lot for guys. These guys are human beings. The Marlins were really rolling before the All-Star break, and then all of a sudden they just hit a brick wall. Getting one win, it's really big actually. You feel like you just broke like a glass ceiling, so to speak, or something. You finally got the monkey off your back, so to speak. So I think the Marlins are going to start scoring now. Although current form, I have them ranked, I think 24th in MLB. But I think yesterday's game does wonders for a team that was struggling, and I think they're going to start scoring now. And who better to score against than Aaron Nola? He has not been himself at all. Probably the worst season of his career. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's certainly one of his worst seasons. And he has bad numbers against these Marlins in his career. The batters that he's facing today. Sandy Alcantara is a pitcher I generally like to back, but I still don't trust the Marlins on a side. I think an over would be a good play here because both teams can hit the ball. Neither starting pitcher has good numbers against the team he's facing today. Although I do like Alcantara a little bit better than I like Nola, but. I think we're looking at it over here. It's going to be hot, and it just seems like an over to me in this game. Let me check the bullpens real quick. Yeah, I mean Miami's bullpen's ranked 24 out of 30. Phillies is ranked 8, which is pretty good, but they used a lot of gas yesterday. I think the pitching staffs are gassed, and I think Miami's going to break out. Give me an over in this one.
Yeah, Brian, that's something. The bullpen's something that started to let the Marlins down a little bit. Tokyo Brandon brought up how hot they were. I think they were like 20-6 in June or something crazy like that. Even right into the first week of July, they kept winning right into the first week of July. They didn't cool off until they played your Cleveland Guardians right before the All-Star break. But that's been the big thing was during that winning month, their bullpen was like top 10 in Major League Baseball. Really, really good. The bullpen basically let them down last night, blowing a 5-2 lead, and they needed a ninth inning rally to win the game. So side total, I do kind of agree with Tokyo Brandon said about there being runs in this game.
I agree also. You've got Nola against Alcantara. Alcantara is about a 110 favorite, total of 8 over to maybe minus 120. It seems to be a little bit low. I was probably expecting an 8.5 when you've got Nola on the mound because, as was mentioned, he's not having a good season. He's 33 years old. He's got a lot of pitches. Just go back and look at how many pitches he has thrown in his career. Wheeler's 3 years older, but Nola's gone really long, and he hasn't pitched well the last few years. He's been very much up and down for a while. And, you look at him on the season. He's still ranked 106th, I believe, on the season, 108th maybe. And in the last 14 days, 141st. From the bullpen standpoint, they had to use their top 4 relievers yesterday. Now, they didn't have to use any of them the day before, but on Saturday, they had to use them. And Friday, they had to use a couple of them as well. So, the bullpen for Philadelphia is a little bit of a concern. From a hitting standpoint, over the last week, we're looking, we always talk about the top of the Phillies lineup being so great, and then it drops off. Well, the middle guys, Alec Baum, number 8 in the last week, Stott, 59th, Real Muto, 96. So when you can get the bottom of the order starting to come around like that, and you've got the guys that have the Turner, Schwarber, and Harper and Marsh up there, although Marsh has really been slumping as of late. But that's a pretty deep lineup if you can get that coming from the bottom of the order. So, I think they can get to Alcantara a little bit here. And if you take a look at Miami, normally when a team breaks that kind of losing streak, I like to come back on them. It's a confidence builder, just like TB talked about. He's been around the game a long time. He knows how that is. Alcantara on the season ranked 29th, but in the last 14 days, 107. So he's not in very good current form. Fairbanks has only pitched 1 out of the last 6 days, but as I mentioned before, I think he loses his job. He's been really bad this year. The only problem is Michael Peterson, who I really like to take his place. I believe he tweaked something the other day, so I don't know if he's going to be available or if they're going to put him on the IL. We'll have to see. But the rest of the bullpen has struggled, especially the lesser guys in the bullpen. Your King and your Poucher and Gibson, who have been pretty good on the season, they struggled a little bit here. So I could definitely see an over here, and that's one of the ones I am considering as my parlay today. We might end up coming back on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait too, but I'll tell you what, I'm considering the Marlins as a parlay leg. So again, I fully expect there to be runs in this game. Totally not pushing back against an over. Makes complete sense. But I also think the Marlins are in a good spot to win again here. So I wanted to bring up one of the chat comments. Slick Vic. He says, I watched the Marlins versus Phillies game last night. Besides one bad inning, the Marlins were busting them up. Yeah, that's actually been the Marlins' problem on the losing streak. It seems like it's one meltdown inning, and they had their meltdown inning last night. Guys throwing the ball into the stands. Like, it looked like they were unraveling, and they were able to get back from that. But the other thing I noticed about watching the Marlins the past week or so, team can't hit left-handed pitching. And the Padres realized that. And I think the Phillies took a page out of their book last night because once Wheeler struggled, the Phillies just went and threw every left-hander they had in their bullpen. Just all their depth lefty guys came in after Wheeler. Now, the reason that's important is the Padres did this all weekend. Marlins would hit their starter. Padres would come in with all their lefty bullpen arms and shut the Marlins down. And what happened yesterday? They hit Wheeler for 3 innings to knock Zach Wheeler out of the game after 3 innings. They then saw like 3 average lefties and couldn't score a run. When did they finally score a run? When they started to see right-handed pitching later in the game. Like, they hit Wheeler and Duran yesterday, 2 of the better right-handed pitchers you're going to see, can't hit left-handed pitching. Why does it matter here? Because they're going to get a pretty poor right-handed pitcher to start this game in Aaron Nola. And then the Phillies don't have a ton of lefties after they used the ones last night. So the Marlins should see a healthy diet of right-handed pitching here. It's something they hit better. And now they've got all the momentum of that 12-game losing streak. Brian, I'm coming to you, but Tokyo Brandon, 100% right. They were on the top step of that dugout like it was the Little League World Series last night. Every guy was on the top step of that dugout, rooting that game home like they were going to Williamsport. They're going to play. I really think that this is going to energize this team, and you're going to see.
And so was Adam.
I was as well. Yep. I was on the top step of my couch.
Adam was on his couch, jumping up and down, and his dog was like, "What the hell?"
I was standing by that point. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned the lefty relievers for Philadelphia. They got 3 of them. Alvarado, who has pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Meza, who's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Or 2 of the last 3 days, excuse me. And then Backus, who has pitched 2 of the last 3. And they just called him up from AAA. So, yeah, that's even more reason to like the over. I was looking at the Miami. Usually when you see a team running a 12-game losing streak, a lot of times it's their starting pitching. But you take a look at the numbers for the last 2 weeks from their starters. Alcantara, 107. Gusto, 70, although he did come out of the bullpen one time. Perez, 55. Junk, 139. And Phillips, 95. They've gotten pretty good starting pitching. It's just that they hadn't been hitting, and the bullpen has been terrible.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, Tokyo Brandon made a great point. This team in June was as hot as can be. I think if they don't lose 12 straight, like let's say they lose 11 of 13 or something like that, I don't think they're getting all sorts of attention for like losing. I think it was just this, it came all at once. And I think has devalued them to the point where we're going to start getting good value on the Marlins, at least for a short period of time. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to use this as my parlay bet. I'm going to play the over 8 minus 120. You can get as low as 115s out there, but 120 is a fair price. And make sure to include Nola and Alcantara. Make it listed pitchers with Philadelphia and Miami, and -8 minus 120.
And a great point by you too. The Philly. I know I've criticized the bottom of that Phillies order, but they did a lot of the damage yesterday. Justin Crawford had a big hit, so yeah. That lineup could be coming around. I don't know if I may not favor.
Sorry to cut you off.
It's so
huge.
I think I'm going to get out now. I got my money last night. I might not come back against the
It's
Phillies.
so huge when your 6 through 9 guys can produce.
Yeah.
When your 6 through 9 guys produce, you're going to win more than 60% of the time for any team. So that's just huge for the Phillies to get production from 6 through 9.
All right, Brian, I'm coming back to you. R. Reynolds says, someone give me a reason not to hammer the Mets at plus 140
I have several.
today. TB
We'll
has
go to you
several.
first then.
All right, yeah, we'll go to TB first. Hey, the Mets, I said yesterday, I said, the Sharps, if you will, they keep playing them as an underdog. Well, the last couple days they got paid, right? Because they stole the last game of the Dodgers series. Last night, the Mets had a little bit of a breakout, win big 14-3 as a slight underdog. Today, they're a bigger underdog, but Tokyo Brandon, they have a bigger hill to climb here because, of course, it's Chris Sale for the Braves. So start us off, Braves-Mets. How do you see this one?
Well, the Mets are still without their only batter that hits over 800 OPS. Granted, since Soto has been out, the Mets have been producing runs at a pretty heavy clip. I don't expect them to sustain this production because they're just not a very good team without Juan Soto. Scott's been pitching well. but Sale is a master, and the only way I can see the Mets coming back in this game is if the Braves bullpen blows it, because the Braves bullpen right now is atrocious. I mean, I got him. Iglesias is supposed to be really good. He has not been. I got him ranked 27 out of 30. So I just can't see the Mets putting a lot of runs here on Sale. Sale's one of the best, and he's a little long in the tooth, but I would take a Mets team total under here. I would take them under in the first 5, even if it's 1.5. I don't see the Mets scoring 2 runs on Sale in the first 5 innings here. I don't see any saving grace for this team. I think their season's over. Oh, I said it. I said that about the Brewers last year, or the Tigers last year, didn't I? But yeah, I don't see a lot of hope for the Mets here.
Brian, Braves Mets to you. I'm not disagreeing with the not seeing a ton of hope for them. Like, we've talked about, the chemistry in that clubhouse seems to be poor. I don't know if I could see the Mets making a run to the point where, like, the NL has a lot of good teams. That's the other thing for the Mets. That's the other tough thing for the Mets. If the Mets were in the American League, they'd probably be winning a division somewhere. Like, the NL is super competitive, and so that's more my reason for not being, like, high on the Mets long term. But last couple of days they've played well, and I don't know. This is the Braves. They get up for the Braves. They get up for Sale. Do you think they get up for them here?
Yeah, the Mets are 10 games behind in the wild card right now, and they're missing Soto for the season. Although Soto says he'll be back before the end of the year. Well, why would the Mets even bother to bring him back? You've got young players you want to take a look at. You're not going to go into the playoffs. I think we've seen the last out of Juan Soto this year. He's had injury problems the last few years. They signed him for 13 years or something. I mean, it's some crazy contract. Yeah, I really wouldn't bet on Soto coming back. If you've got him on a fantasy team and it goes year to year, I would drop him. But, things happen. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, it's a situation for myself where we're looking at Sale the lefty. He's about a 160 favorite here. Total 7.5 to the under, maybe 120 or so. Yeah, I see reasons to play the Mets. Scott, I like his future. And this is a team right now that still has some pretty good players. There are a lot of younger players that they didn't expect to take over these roles earlier in the season. But, the Mets' future still looks pretty good. I don't think, they're talking about a big sell-off and all. I don't know. It's just a bad year for them between the injuries and what's going on in the locker room and all. I don't go against Chris Sale very often, but in this price range, yeah, I can see a reason to play the Mets. You're getting upwards. I see at the South Point here in Las Vegas that they're giving you 150 back. You can get 140 back at a few places. If you can catch 140, yeah, it's not a bad bet. I wouldn't consider that to be a bad bet here. Atlanta, we talked about, they've got their supposed best hitter and leadoff hitter, Ronald Acuna, back yesterday. And so that makes them so much better. But, yeah, I like the Braves. And as when TB talked about the Braves bullpen being bad, he's talking once again about recently. Recently, they have been bad. But if you take a look at them in the season, Iglesias is ranked 13th, Lee 14th, Fuentes 55th, Dodd 67th. They've got an excellent bullpen. They're just not in good form right now. So, yeah, different ways to look at the game. I could see the Mets, but it's tough to go against Chris Sale. He's the one guy that is very consistent with them. And if you take a look at what he has done in the past, especially against teams he knows very well, he's pitched very well.
I like the Mets with the plus 1.5 if you can get it at 130 or better. I'm kind of with the original post. Lindor had 6 RBIs last night, and he's sitting close to 400 against Sale with a huge sample. Their season has been – it feels like their season has been over for a little while. I, too, don't really like the Mets long term, but I do see value on them tonight. Their lineup on paper, if you're just looking at the numbers, is not great. But look at some of the guys – that have those numbers, right? Bo Bichette, 680 OPS. We know he's much better than that for his career. Frankie Lindor, 743 OPS. We know he's much better than that, like long term. Just having bad seasons, but maybe he broke out last night with the 6 RBIs. One guy I do like that came up the other day is Ewing. I actually think he's going to be a pretty good player. He's now batting leadoff for them. So, Again, am I going to be shocked if the Mets come out and get crushed here? No, because look at what they've done all season. Do I see some value on them at this price? And would I mind, am I considering the plus 1.5 as an option? Yeah, because I like Scott. I think Scott can keep them in this game. And then if you get to the late innings, it could be a little bit of a crapshoot. So yeah, that's just my take on it. Not my favorite thing on the board, but that is my take. Go ahead, TV.
Before you get to the next game, I would be remiss if I did not mention that WagerTalk Media owns 3 websites. One is wagertalk.com, one is Picks and Parlays, and the other is Sports Memo. And all 3 of those sites, everything is $5 except 5% plays. So go to one of those sites of your choice and get a $5 play from your favorite capper, or get several. I have 2 4% plays up today. And by the way, Adam, I want to know what that hat is. That's not Hagerstown, is it?
This is a Harrisburg Senators hat. And
Okay.
I threw this on today for 2 reasons. One, I really I got to go get a haircut. I just keep having other stuff to do. 2, their social media main account commented on the video I did for them for like my video from their ballpark that I posted the other day on TikTok, and the official Harrisburg Senators TikTok commented, and I said, all right, anytime you get love from like an official team account, gotta throw these.
That's
so yeah,
cool.
This is the Harrisburg
Very
Senators,
cool.
Double-A affiliate of the Nationals, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Cool.
I do want to point out, when you said that they own 3 other sites, they own a lot of sites, data
The
sites.
Gold Sheet as well.
It's turning into a real conglomerate. They're doing a hell of a job. Hats off to everybody, the owners. They're doing a wonderful job for this company.
Yes.
And maybe next year we'll get somebody to do the back end, give us some graphics,
Or produce the show, or something.
I can't.
We're doing it all ourselves, man.
That's partially me. That's partially my doing, though, because I said we don't want to plan this. We don't want anything planned. I was like, we just want to go off of what the chat asked. And so they're like, well, how do we do graphics if you guys aren't going to let us know? And I said, we don't need graphics. Just give us a banner and give me an hour to talk about baseball. That's what I asked for.
We're kind of like
that's on me.
Yeah, we're kind of like freestyle rappers, man. You just throw a bar out there. We just rap, And actually, other cappers come to us and they're like, how do you guys do that? Like, just talk about games off the top of your head. Other cappers at WagerTalk have come to me and said, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, you should listen. I'm not going to out anyone, but like, if you are doing this professionally and this is your sport, like you should be able to. Should be only doing that for like the duration of your season. I don't know how. I don't have the. I somehow I will like map out time to like go and get to a baseball game. I'm still watching baseball. Like that is like what I do all year.
They have barbershops in those cities.
I know. I can't even find time to get a haircut, Brian. And the place I go is 5 minutes from where I live. That's how. Yeah. Anyway,
he was too busy cheering the Marlins yesterday.
That's right. Yeah.
Choking on his Red Bull.
No, Red Bull's disgusting. We don't F
whatever.
You don't want a Red Bull. The ingredients in that are not good. I've done the research on this. All right, Slick Vic. Slick Vic says those damn. So someone pointed out how hot the Red Sox have been, and I chose to talk about this game because of a couple comments on the Red Sox. Slick Vic specifically wants to know about Crochet. What I've heard about Crochet is probably late September, if ever. Like they hope. So what the Red Sox hope is that Crochet could potentially be on a playoff roster. I don't think you will see him before the end of September. So that's, and again, Brian was shaking his head. Maybe he knows more than I do there. I heard late September for Crochet.
Yeah. Anytime I hear something positive, then 2 days later, they're shutting him down again. He may be back for the playoffs, but I wouldn't count on him for the regular season at all.
So the more concerning thing would be Curtis Mead getting hit on the hand last night. First game with the Red Sox, they trade Connolly early to get him. Now they've got the bat that they want. Right away, gets drilled on the hand and leaves the game. That being said, the Red Sox still get it done 4-2. They are red hot, this team. They've been hot for a while now. The percentages say that they're going to make the playoffs in the American League. Bryan Leonard, does the hot streak continue at Sutter Health Park tonight?
Yeah, they brought him in. I agree they needed him. They were trading from a strength, but you had to just shake your head and laugh if you're a Red Sox fan. You got the guy you wanted, and you had to give up a good prospect for him and a younger guy that's already proven a little bit. And he gets hit by a pitch, and well, who knows? But they've got a lot of middle field. That's the one thing this team has is a lot of mediocre middle infielders, and they're supposed to be getting their story back pretty soon. That'll change some things too. But yeah, we're looking at Boston and the Athletics. A couple of lefties playing out in Sacramento tonight, and we've got Bennett against Jump, and Bennett's been fantastic so far for Boston. Jump had a little rough outing recently, but I still like him. And we're looking at Boston's about a 150 favorite with a total of 9.5 here. And it tells you how good of a hitting ballpark this is when we've got what could be the hottest pitcher in baseball in Bennett and the ace, what I consider the ace of the athletic staff in Jump, and you're still getting a total of 9.5, slightly leaning towards the over. As for the weather concerns, we're always looking at that. The wind does blow out here very well. The doubleheader in Cincinnati, the wind's blowing out today too. So other than that, everything is just a little bit normal, what you normally would see. But yeah, I'd like to play Bennett here, but that would be the only way it would go, because right now the Athletics are a team that just looks in shambles. They're not playing well at all, and they're starting to lose confidence. And when you've got a young team that thinks that at one point that, hey, you remember they were playing like 500 ball earlier this year. They were a pretty good team. They're only 20-31 in this ballpark. They've actually played better when they've gone on the road. I do prefer Boston in this game, but do you really want to lay a 150 in, as TB would say, a monkey ballpark? No lead is safe here in this ballpark. And take a look at Boston's bullpen. They had to use Chapman, Whitlock, and Slayton yesterday, and they had to use Slayton the day before. So, yeah, the bullpen for Boston's been used a little bit, and when you're winning, your better bullpen arms are going to be used. So you take a look at their offense. The offense, they're really not hitting that well. They've only got 2 guys that are in the top 100 over the last week, and that's Ceddanne Rafaela and Jarren Duran, 2 guys that have been underperforming a little bit. Well, Duran a lot all season long. So, yeah, I prefer Boston here, but I don't know if I can get there at that number. And from a team total standpoint, Jump. I've seen Jump was here in Las Vegas. They got the 51s, the Dodgers' old uniforms when they played here in Vegas. He's pitched in elevation before, and he's done pretty well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's Boston or nothing for me, but I'm probably going to sit this one out.
Tokyo Brandon, at one point in time, Jake Bennett, Gage Jump, they were kind of coming through at the same time, and I had Jump rated considerably higher than Bennett for a lot of that time. So, I still really like Jump, even though he did have a couple of rough outings. I still think he has the better stuff of these two. But, the Red Sox, tough to argue with how well they've played of late. So, Red Sox A's, do you have anything here?
It's wiggity, 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 whack. Crisscross will make you jump. That's my introduction to this game. If you cover the name and the logos, Bennett has similar statistics to Cam Schlittler and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And I'm not saying he's going to sustain this productivity. However, you can't really argue with that. He's walking only 16% of the guys that he's striking out. Jump's numbers are not horrible, but I do have him on his expected numbers ranked 20 out of 30 on the curve, where I have Bennett ranked 6. So bullpen-wise, I know their bullpen is a little beat up, but I still have Boston's bullpen ranked 5th, where I've got the A's bullpen ranked 28. And yes, it is a monkey ballpark. However, monkey ballparks affect bad teams just as well as they affect good teams. So I expect the Athletics to be even worse than they normally are, and I expect Boston to be worse than they normally are. So I think the discrepancy will be about the same as if they were playing in a good ballpark or a normal ballpark. I think R. Reynolds in our chat nailed it. I think Red Sox -1 is the way to go in this one. You don't have to lay anything. If they win by 1, you get your money back. And let's face it, in sports betting, if you don't lose, it's a good day. So give me Boston -1 in this one.
We are opposite on quite a few today. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So I'm going to use A's +1.5 for the parlay. And the reason I like the A's in this spot, so a couple things. One, I get what Boston is doing. It's great. They've played their way from a season that looked like it was going to be a throwaway season to probably being in the playoffs in the matter of like 3 weeks. But like you have to understand a couple things. One, a lot of that is because the AL is not very good. The Red Sox would not be in the conversation that they're in from a playoff standpoint if they were in the National League. Okay, and the other thing here is the A's not a great team. We knew that. We knew that coming into the season. They don't have a ton of pitching. That was always going to be an issue, but they just got Kurtz back, so they're getting a little bit healthy. They were without one of their best players for the stretch, or he pinch hit. What did he pinch hit last night? So I think he'll be in the lineup here. I believe Nick Kurtz pinch hit in last night's game, so I'm guessing he's going to probably play here. So that's big. But the thing about the ballpark is what I'm going to sort of gravitate toward here. Because Gage Junk, every number we've seen from him has essentially been in one of these ballparks. He pitched AAA in Vegas, more monkey than this one. Brian goes to those games. That is you can get an out in that ballpark. You're on to something, right? Ask Kyle Harrison how that ballpark treated him. Okay? And this is Jake Bennett comes through the Red Sox organization. He hasn't pitched in many of these types of parks during his career. Plays in Portland, Worcester, Fenway. Like, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for him. And then you look at the game, it's priced as if Bennett should be far better, right? That he should be the favorite. They're priced up to the point where I think the books are telling you that there's a considerable edge for the Red Sox here. I disagree. I had Jump ranked higher than Bennett for a long time. And you're getting a run and a half with the A's at home. This is a team on a one-off where if the A's decide to hit, they'll probably win the game. So I like the A's. I'll take them +1.5. That's my parlay leg. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, it's interesting you said, these two of you are going head-to-head in a lot of these games. I look at these games, and I'm having a hard time finding value. Just about every game is within 10 cents of where I thought it should be. So that makes total sense to me now because I was having a hard time. So if anybody is going to buy the 2-pack today, get it from these two gentlemen. I still haven't even put up my 5% play yet. Or excuse me, my $5 play yet. I'm not having a 5% today. But it's the way to go in this one. And sometimes each of us don't find the value that we see other days.
Yeah, I know my mic is echoing. I'm really not sure why. I will play around. I can hear it in my ears a little bit. I'll play around with the settings. We'll figure that out. But at any rate, I'm going to use the A's in the parlay. I think they have a good chance to win today. And if you're getting that 1.5, you're getting the run to work with. I think it's a good bet. All right, Alex Rand. He says, "Morning, gentlemen. Can we talk Angels and Rays?" Well,
they don't play.
They're not playing each other.
I think he means Ranger or
take the dog.
I'm going to pick the one. So I'm going to pick the one that other people asked about, and that is going to be the Rays. Because we had a couple other people in the chat wanting to know about this Rangers-Rays series that kicks off today. Bryan Leonard, that's kind of a low-key, pretty big series in the American League now, especially, the Rangers find themselves in one of these divisions where 500 ball might be good enough to win the division. At least it is right now. And now they go to the Rays, who suddenly can't lose a game at home. I lost track. They're what are they, 37 and 15 or 15 at home, something like that?
Yeah.
So Rangers, Rays, do you see any value in the dog here?
Yeah. Interesting game. We'll have to see how Texas does after that huge series against Seattle. They've been knocking the ball around really well. You take a look at their lineup. 1 through 7 are all hitting in the top 100 in the last 7 days. That was against Seattle. a team who does not pitch well on the road. And I got into it. One of our colleagues, Stephen Over, who was on, I believe he's on Picks and Parlays, but he was talking about how poorly that how great they have pitched at home, the Seattle's pitchers. And I said, it's not that they're pitching great at home. It's because the ballpark on the road, they're normal. There's a reason why Seattle's had so many great pitchers over the years, and nobody trades for them. Nobody's standing in line to trade for any of those pitchers. They're trying to get rid of Castillo right now. Nobody wants him because all his numbers are based on that anti-monkey ballpark in Seattle. So, yeah, they haven't announced – well, they haven't shown, at least on our line service, it's not showing a starter, but I believe it's going to be Cal Quantrill going. And we've talked about Quantrill in the past. He's a guy who is an innings eater. He's not somebody goes out and searches for him, but he's going to go on the mound today. And, I think there's a little bit of value here on Texas. Like I said, they've been hitting very well right now. And going against the Tampa Bay team, as much as I like Griffin Jacks and as good as they've been at home, why are they a 180 favorite, 175 to 180 favorite here against a team in Texas who really are they that much worse? Texas on the season, they're sitting here at 2 games over 500. Tampa Bay sitting at 19 over. Yeah, granted, but Tampa Bay's won a lot of one-run games. If you take a look at their expected win-loss, they're 9 games over 500. That's a big difference from 19. So, yeah, Tampa Bay's the better team, but Texas is hitting the ball really well right now. And Griffin Jacks, as much as I like him, he's been a little bit up and down.
TB, Rays Rangers to you.
Steve Dukes, thank you for that reference. Oh, the cans can do miracles. Just you wait and see. That's the other crisscross. So thank you for that, Steve Dukes. Remember, everyone, it's $5 Tuesday, and everything up is $5 or free except 5% plays on WagerTalk.com, Picks and Parlays, and Sports Memo. So go grab that. I have 2 plays out. They're 4%ers. For $5, and I'm sure my esteemed colleagues will also have something out. I kind of agree with you guys in this one. The Tampa Bay is the better team, but this number is way too high for Jax because he's good. He's got good command and control with his pitches, but he's not that much better than Cal Quantrill, in my opinion. At least for the first 5 innings, I think it's almost a push, and the Rangers are actually hitting better than the Rays right now, like Brian pointed out. I think the reason this number is what it is because of the bullpen discrepancy, because Texas's bullpen not performing well right now, and the Rays bullpen is, plus the Rays are kind of on a tear right now. But I would agree. I think an under would be the way to go in this. And anytime you think the score is going to be low, there's a lot of value on that +1.5 as well. So those would be 2 ways I would go. I kind of agree with you guys.
TB, I'm eyeing that +1.5, and I can't even believe that we're discussing it possibly coming into range. So for me, I'm typically not going to bet a +1.5 unless I can get like -130 or better. At -135 is a stretch. If I really love it, I will consider it at that price. I didn't think there was. I mean, the Rangers are a good ball club. That's the thing with the Rangers. They are exactly what they appear to be. They're 54-52. They're a better than average team. They're nothing they do is like, nothing they do is just amazing. And let me know if my echo is gone. I'm just playing around with
there was an echo, but I'm not sure it was yours. I've seen that before earlier this week. Yeah.
I think TB's mic is causing an echo. So I've muted him for a second. I'm just testing that out. As far as the Rangers is concerned, good ball club. Great at anything? Probably not. Bad at anything? No. I've talked about this bullpen. Deep, good bullpen. They don't have the Duran or they don't have the Mason Miller. But what they do have, although Latz has had a tremendous season for him. But the bullpen's really good. Strong collection of arms. There's really no one bad out there. It's they can go to their pen early if they need to, and there's no drop off from typically who they have out there. The Rays, as good as they've been, I mean, this team should not be laying a 1.5 to other good teams in baseball, in my opinion. They're not built to blow teams out. They're built to win games like they did against the Guardians the last couple of days, 1-0, 2-1, 3-1. Those are the types of games that the Rays are going to win. So yeah, Rangers plus 1.5. You give me 10 more cents. This might be on my client card. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple quick things. First of all, Tokyo Brandon lives in Japan, and karaoke is that. Well, obviously that's where it's from when you listen to the words. And he's got a very nice voice. And make sure to tip your waitresses. Also, I have to travel, so I won't. I may not be on the show this week. The problem is where I go, there's internet, but I've got one of these things. It's called Travel Internet, or Travel Router, and I've never used it before, but I've tried it out yesterday, and it worked pretty well. So if I can get that thing to work, I will not miss any time. And the good thing is, every time I tend to leave town, I get on a hot streak. Yeah. So yeah, I've always done very well in that regard. So yeah, it's I hate to miss the show because of that. But if you see that I'm not here, it's nothing health wise. It's the internet where I'm going to be is very weak.
By the way, I think the echo was, I had my reverb up really high, so I turned my reverb down. Is my volume okay though?
It's lower, but it's better to not have an echo.
Right.
So
okay,
yeah,
I'll work on it for next show. Sorry about that.
We'll get Dan will call you and fix your mic. We have people to do that. So just
Sorry,
get
guys.
It's all good.
We'll work.
All right, let's get one more in here before we go. Oh, this is Jason Lambert. He goes, I bet Trig goes to a beauty parlor instead of the barber shop. I'll tell you what, I had 3 barbers in this town. I don't live in a very big town. I'm shocked there's even 3 here. And they all messed my hair up. So I went over to the casino in our town, which is really, really nice. Turning Stone Resort and Casino, if you're ever in central New York. And I did go to the salon there, and they did a great job. So that's where I'm going back. Like I said, I don't know why I can't. It's 5 minutes. Now I'm just going to get my hair cut, but it's 5 minutes away. And I still find a way not to get down there. My hair grows really fast, though. I guess it's better than I have hair, though. I'm 40 years old. I have hair. Some of my friends don't. So I'm not complaining. But yeah, that's so you were right. I guess I do go to a salon. I haven't heard the term beauty parlor since like the 1990s. But yeah,
must be an older gentleman.
Yeah.
I still say
at any rate,
parlor, but yeah, I'm old.
We can so we'll get one more in here. Brian, I'm going to come to you. Thoughts on the doubleheader. So we Guardians Rays are going to play a doubleheader tonight. We talked about game 1 extensively yesterday as our feature game. So you don't have to rehash what we talked about in game 1, but we now have a doubleheader. There is a game 2, and the Guardians will have their ace going in game 2 and Gavin Williams. So anything for you, doubleheader, game 1, game 2, are you trying to get involved at all?
Yeah. First of all, from the beauty parlor situation, there used to be a place in Vegas that was called A Little Off the Top, and the girls cut your hair in lingerie. So yeah, I have been to a beauty parlor. Went there one time just to see what was going on. They're no longer in business, by the way. Well, you guys looking to come out, make a trip to Vegas?
I think it's legal.
Yeah. There's other ways to look at beautiful women here in Vegas, but yeah, I'm coming back. I used Cleveland a small play for clients in game 1 again. We lost a little bit of value. We went 143, I believe, yesterday. Now we're getting about 136. If you can't get at least 136, it's probably a pass. But I said the winds are blowing out. Cleveland's actually favored in the second game. I prefer them as an underdog as opposed to being a favorite on the road. But yeah, that's about it for me in that series.
TB, anything from you in this series, game 1 or game 2?
Yeah, real quick. Bullpen wise and hitting wise, I have these 2 teams the closest matchup of the day. Slight advantage one way or the other, but I think the Reds have a huge pitching advantage in game 1. So watch game 1, and if the Reds win game 1, slam the Guardians in game 2, because this is probably going to be a split where the better pitcher wins. Because the way I see it, besides starting pitcher, these teams are about as neck and neck as you can get.
I will be looking to find a way to play the Guardians in this doubleheader. I agree with you. Game 2, TB. If game 1 plays out in the right manner, I think the Guardians are going to have a really nice game 2 edge with Gavin Williams on the mound.
Yeah.
I already think that price is lower than it should be. So yeah, Guardians game 2 makes
Agreed.
a ton of sense. But I will go back. Like, again, I'm not going to totally rehash the breakdown from yesterday, but everything I said yesterday about like Chase Burns and being a little bit concerned with his command still plays here because now he had to sit another day. So if this guy was having a hard time, you watch Chase Burns' last 2 starts, he doesn't really know where the ball's going. 6 walks against the Phillies. Last time out, he was out after 5 innings because he kept running 3-ball counts and the Mariners bailed him out. And that was someone that was on the Reds. And someone in the chat yesterday is like giving me a hard time. Listen, I don't dislike Chase Burns. I like Chase Burns as much as the next guy. But if you're going to ask me to pay a premium on a Red starting pitcher when this Reds team is not a great hitting team and doesn't have a great bullpen, that dude better be going 7 innings and giving up 1 run or nothing and just like it's got to be a good performance. I just don't know if he comes out and he doesn't have great command. He's not going 7 innings because the Guardians, the one thing they will do is battle. They'll get up there. They have some plate discipline. They'll have good at-bats. It's not a great offense, but they will scratch and claw, get some base runners, and then they make the most of them, or they at least try to. Sometimes they go over 17 with runners in scoring position. But all I'm saying here is like they don't even need to do that. They just need to be patient enough at the plate to get him out after the 5th inning, and they will have an edge in this game. So, yeah, I will be looking for a way to play the Guardians in this doubleheader. I'm just not totally sure the best way to do it.
Slam him in game 2.
TB, I'll tell you what. If the Reds win a close game in game 1, use some of their better bullpen arms, I'm very, very tempted to just be on the Guardians at just about any price in game 2. I'm with you there. And that's a day-night doubleheader, so you'll have plenty of time. It's a 1 o'clock game, and I believe the second game is not till 7. So you will know the outcome with plenty of time to make a decision there. That's it for today. Remember, it's $5 Tuesday. As Tokyo Brandon said, $5 across every WagerTalk platform. So Sports Memo, Picks and Parlays, WagerTalk, everything is $5 today. So take advantage of that. Our 3-teamer today is as follows. Tokyo Brandon is going with Cubs -110. I'm going with the A's +1.5 -120. And Brian's going Phillies Marlins over 8 -120. Those are all full game bets. That is our 3-teamer. That is our show. And the 3 of us will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. for more Total Basis. We'll see you guys then.